Hey, hi guys. My name is Akbar. Welcome back to my channel. So in my previous classes, if you would have seen, I've created infrastructure in Azure using Terraform. Okay. Now I'm going to call the Terraform code with the help of Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. Okay. So now let's get back to the lab. So hope you understand, right? We are going to create infrastructure in Azure with the help of Terraform scripts in my previous classes. Now, I'm going to call this Terraform scripts or the Terraform code with the help of Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so let me get back to Microsoft Portal Azure. Here, if anyone wants to connect to Azure Portal, okay, they have to create a service principal. So this is my service principal, which I have already created. So this is my service principal user, which is a TF user. I have here client ID, tenant ID, and my client secret. Okay. This is the values which I have to use to connect to my Azure and create infrastructure. If I have to fetch the script of a Terraform from the Git, or you can say GitHub, I have to use GitHub credentials. Okay. Let me go back to the Azure portal. Let me create a one virtual machine. I'll name this server as Jenkins-Server. So I'm going to create a new resource group, which is YouTube-RG. Okay. Now, what is the name of the virtual machine? As I'm going to use this as a Jenkins server, I'm naming this server as a Jenkins. Let it be in east west. Let it be this credential. I want this as an Ubuntu. I'll go with the default architecture. I don't want SSH public key. I'll go with username and password. I'll give my username. Okay. As Z is not typing in my machine, I'll just copy Z letter from my notepad. Okay. This is like Azure admin is my, or you can give as Jenkins admin, whatever it is. That's up to you. So I'll enable the ports of HTTP and 443, all those things. So let's go everything, all other options with the default networking, all the concepts. Okay, let's not go into the detail of creation of a machine. I'll go with all the default options. So why I'm creating this virtual machine, Ubuntu virtual machine? Because in this server, I'm going to install Jenkins. Okay. And what is the Jenkins default port? 8080. I have to enable the inbound rule for this particular virtual machine as 8080. And what are the other prerequisites after I created this virtual machine and after I installed Jenkins in this? There are some prerequisites which we need to understand. Here is the roadmap. I have to create resources of a backend in Azure that I'll show you as per the code. So this is my code. When I say backend, so this is an infrastructure, Terraform 760, Terraform TF stateful. This is expected to be there in the Azure portal where my Terraform statefile is going to create. So I'm going to create this resource group. Let me check either this particular resource group is there or not. Okay, it's not there. Let me go ahead and create it. Why I am creating this particular infrastructure? To maintain my Terraform statefile as per my code. I have to create a storage account. I'm going to go to home. Where is my storage accounts? I'm going to storage account. I'm going to create my storage account name. Let it be the default one. So I've created a resource group. I've created a storage account. The next step is I have to create a container. Why I am creating? I'm repeating it once again to maintain my Terraform state file centralized one. I don't want to maintain it locally. That's why I'm creating this infrastructure. When something is infrastructure is created, the current state and desired state, everything will be maintained in the Terraform state file. If I maintain locally, if something goes wrong with my Terraform state file, then it's a big issue, right? So I have to maintain it centralized so that versioning of that particular Terraform state file can be managed. It's in progress. So meanwhile, I'll go to the roadmap. So, so create a resources of backend. After that, create a Jenkins server, which I've already created in Azure portal. And once this is created, let me show it to you. Yeah, okay. Let me just cross check whether the backend related stuff is done or not. Resource group, Terraform. In Terraform, I have a Terraform 760 storage account or not. Oh, storage account. Okay, my bad. It has taken Terraform 760 into the resource group of network watcher. This is not a case. I'm expected to create. Okay, I can. What I can do? See, I can go to the resource group. I'm expecting this particular storage account I have to create in Terraform. By mistake, I have created network watcher resource group. How can I move this? Move to another resource group, Terraform. Simple. Next, I no need to delete and recreate. I can move the resources from one resource group to another. Okay. So this is what my infrastructure says, right? In the resource group of Terraform, I have to create a storage account. In that storage account, I have to create a container. So I have to create a Terraform state file. So as per the roadmap, once this first step is done, then we can go for the creation of Jenkins-Server, which we already done. And we gonna install the Jenkins on it. Okay, super cool. Now let's go to container. In the container, what is that? EF state I have to create, right? Container name, EF state. Okay. So my first step of the backend, as per the roadmap, is done. The backend activity where I'm maintaining the Terraform state file, that is done. The respective resource group, respective storage account, respective container where I'm going to maintain my Terraform state file. Now, next, the creation of Jenkins server in Azure portal. Home. What is my virtual machine? What is the name I've given? Jenkins. Okay, I just created as a normal Ubuntu and or Linux machine. Okay, as we are going to use this as a Jenkins default port is 8080. So then I have to go for networking part for this particular machine, because my requirement is I have to use it as Jenkins. So let it be source and me, and then I'll go with custom service destination 8080. I'll go with TCP. I'll go with the priority 100. You can go with anything. Okay, let it be added. So I have installed already Putty on my particular local machine. So I'll use this particular Jenkins server IP. copy. I'll use Putty here. I will give you the link how to install the Putty on your personal machine. If you remember, when I'm login, I've given as Jenkins admin. Now, this is my normal server where I have created with the help of Azure portal, which is a virtual machine is ready. Okay. Now, my virtual machine is ready. And how can I install a Jenkins here? Okay, I have the link over here, which I've been following. How to install Jenkins on Ubuntu, or you can say Linux. The both the steps are both the same. I'll give you this link. I'll just click on this link. I'll just follow the steps. So now this is the link which I've been going to follow. So the first step is, what is the Java version here? Okay, Java is not found. I think first I have to update the sudo apt update. First I have to update my machine. And then I can go ahead for this particular command for apt install of OpenJDK 11 version. I have to first update the machine. So the first step, I have to create a virtual machine. I have created, either it is Linux or Ubuntu, whatever it is, just with the help of portal. The next step is install Jenkins. That's what I'm following the steps of how to install Jenkins on the Linux server. After that, I have to install Terraform. I have to install Azure CLI on the same server. All these three activity I have to do, I'm going to do in front of you right now. Okay, cool. My system is updated. Now I'm going to install OpenJDK. Okay, OpenJDK is done. And it is asking for yes option. Yes, I'll give it yes. So all the steps I'm following in this link. See, sudo apt install OpenJDK. I don't want to go to 8 because I'm already using 11. Okay, OpenJDK 11 is already there. If you just want to make sure what are the commands you have used, you can go for fc-n apt install OpenJDK. Okay. -y is there. If you want to rename it again, you can do it, or that's fine. Now the next step is add Jenkins repository. The next step is the key packages integrity. So this is something you have to add as a packages. I'm going to my server. Add Jenkins software repository to the source. Just follow the steps to maintain the package and software repository. Now, install Jenkins, sudo apt update again, before installation Java and before installation of Jenkins. Okay, you got something error over here. just copy paste this. So somewhere something relates to packages and repository is missing. You just ignore and you can copy paste this one because that is not working what you copied. You copy that error and you update it. Okay, good to go. Now again, sudo update. Now sudo apt install Jenkins. Wow, your Jenkins is getting installed. So guys, we are doing everything here from scratch to check if Jenkins is installed or not. Once it's 100%, then I'll use the verification command because this is a command which is going to install Jenkins. So we have to follow as per the roadmap. You have to be very careful with the roadmap. At first step, we have created resources to maintain the centralized Terraform state file. Then we have created a Ubuntu virtual machine in Azure portal with the help of Azure portal. Why we created this and why we are naming this as a Jenkins server? Because we are going to install Jenkins, we are going to install Terraform, we are going to install Azure CLI. This is a basic key parameters to access the Jenkins. And I need a Terraform and a Azure CLI because I'm going to access a Terraform scripts as well in the Jenkins. Okay. Wow, it's done. Um, so Jenkins installation is done. To check if Jenkins installed or not, this is a command. Okay, Jenkins is active and running. Pretty cool, right? You don't need to remember anything. Just you need to know what is the action you are going to do and how you want to do it. Sudo system enable now Jenkins. Okay. Open port by running the following commands. I've already opened this port for a server level. Anyhow, I'll just go ahead and give follow the instructions as per the guidance. Rules updated. Okay. Let me go to the status. Okay, it says inactive. I have to make it active. Enable it. Okay. Now, see, your virtual machine is this. What is your virtual machine name? Jenkins. So what I have done currently, I've installed the Jenkins. How I access the Jenkins? With the help of IP and port. See, they say HTTP, IP address and domain. So let me go ahead and open this and access with 8080 port. Wow. So let me go back and open this particular here to get my password. What is the password? This is the one. With this, my Jenkins is ready. So once my Jenkins is ready, what can I do? I can create a Jenkins pipeline. I can create the credentials, which will help to store the credentials of GitHub and which will help to create the store the credentials of Azure Service Principal, which I've already shown you in the beginning of the session. And as per our roadmap, if you look at, we need to install Terraform, right? We need to install Azure CLI. So these two activities are yet to do. So let's go ahead for install Terraform on Linux machine. Let me go back. Let me click on this particular link. Oh, so this is talking about Mac OS, Windows, Linux. Okay, let me go back to Linux. Ubuntu, Debian, or anyone is same. Copy this. Go back to my Linux virtual machine, which is my Jenkins server. So what this has done is exactly sudo apt update, sudo apt install Terraform. That's what it has done. That's it. One single command and your Terraform is ready. See, I'm going to give you all these links in the description. Okay, whatever I'm going to use for install Terraform. So once the Terraform is installed, see, you can go ahead and cross check what are the command I have recently used. Sudo apt update, sudo apt install. Okay, echo db, the same stuff which we have copied from here. Echo db and wget. You're going to get this particular package so and so. So Terraform --. Version. What is the version of my Terraform? 1.6.2. Pretty cool. My Terraform is installed. And what is my next step? Install Azure CLI. Okay, where is the link of Azure CLI? Let me go back and check. How to install Terraform, how to install Azure CLI on Linux. Okay, let me go back to this link. We just need to search for a proper links of a software and get ready with that. And Ubuntu, Linux, apt. Okay, don't go with the TDNF. Go with only apt. And install Azure CLI. Install with one command. What is that? This is the one. Okay, let's go ahead and do the install Azure CLI. Once my Azure CLI is installed, how can I check the version? AZ version. See, unpacking Azure CLI. Now, let me go back because I'm not able to type the Z. I'm copying the complete command over here. AZ version. Okay, pretty cool. My Azure CLI is installed. My Terraform is installed. My Jenkins is installed. All my three softwares as per the roadmap is done. That's cool, right? Let me go back to my Jenkins. Okay. Looks like I left this step of creation of admin Akbar. Okay. Save and continue. So what? My Jenkins setup is ready, right? So what is the IP? 172, right? This is the same IP, right? 172. Yeah. So the first and foremost important thing when you are talking about Jenkins, how the connectivity has been established, you just need to understand. Okay. First, Jenkins, if it is wants to connect to Azure, or the Jenkins wants to connect to GitHub, or the Jenkins wants to connect to anything, it needs a plugins. Okay. Let's go back to the manage Jenkins to get the plugins in place. Plugins, installed plugins, which means Jenkins will come up with a default plugin for GitHub. You no need to install. See this GitHub plugin, Git or Git client plugin, GitHub, all these are like disabled, which means it's are already coming with a built-in. Okay. Now let's go back to available plugins. If you look at a Terraform, Terraform is not a default plugin. We have to install it. I'm going to install. See, available plugin Terraform is there, but Terraform is not come with the default within Jenkins. It means it's not installed by default. You have to install it. I'm going to install it. Okay. Just wait for a couple of minutes. It will be ready. Very good. Now, the next plugin, what is that? Let me copy Z letter here because my keyboard is having an issue with Z. Azure credentials. Okay. Let me install this as well. Why I need Azure credentials? Because I have to maintain my service principal, I have to maintain my tenant, client, all those things, right? For that purpose, I need this particular plugin. So I have installed the plugins. I have installed the plugins of what? Terraform and Terraform and Azure credentials. Okay. Now my plugins are ready. The next step is where I'm going to store these credentials. When I say credentials, GitHub credentials. When I say credentials, Azure Service Principal, your tenant ID, client ID, all those things. Okay. System. Go to system. Go to global credentials. Add credentials. GitHub app. And give Git. Here you can give anything. So store Git credentials. What is the app ID? Uh, this is my ID. Either you can give it here or you can give when at the time of creation of pipeline. Okay. Add. Okay. Looks like uh, if I enter, it was going to show you guys. Okay, I don't want to do this now. I'll go here. I'll try to create add credentials. I'll go with Azure Service Principal. What is my subscription? This is my subscription. What is my client ID? 70. Okay. What is my tenant? This is my tenant. And this could be an Azure. See, Azure China, Azure government. Okay. What is the ID? As per my code, if you look at a backend Jenkins file, Azure login, this is the one I'm going to use because here it is. To log in to Azure portal. I have not yet given my client secret. Okay, I have to give it. So this is my client secret. Okay, create. Wow. So my Azure login is ready. So my login details, I have given it from my notepad. So are they correct or not? Let me cross check. Before the session, I've copied it. So let me go back to Terraform user. I just want to cross check either the details, whatever I've given. Client ID and tenant ID 70CFA9. 70CFA9. So secret is 3.0 EA77. That will be the same. Because this certificate, okay, 3.0, the value will be disabled. I'm good to go. So my next step will be, see, my plugins is ready, my credentials is ready, which means if I'm going to connect to Git, I have to give the Git credentials during the pipeline. I have given my Azure portal details. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a pipeline. New, YouTube, demo, Jenkins, Terraform, pipeline. Or you can give YouTube demo, that's it. Naming is as per your convention. I've selected pipeline, I've created create. Let me go back. So GitHub projects, I'll give the one. Here, my project is parameterized, choice parameter. I'll make it as choice. I'll make it as init, plan, apply, destroy. Why? Because this is the main basic Terraform commands. Whenever my Terraform, whenever I execute my Jenkins pipeline, it should ask me all these options when I'm executing. Okay. I'll go with this one, pipeline script. I'll go with Git. I'll go with repository URL. Credentials, I don't want anything. If you want to add, you can add it here. Jenkins. See here, it shows okay, let it be with the username and password. Username will be the email ID of my GitHub. The password. This is the safest way rather than going for GitHub app because it is showing the password. So Git and description add. Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to create a pipeline. Let me review the steps. I'm giving the GitHub project, GitHub URL, and my pipeline is choice parameter. Why? Because I have to execute Terraform commands like init, plan, apply, and destroy to create the resources to destroy. And again, I'm choosing a pipeline script from the SCM. I'm giving the Git, and I've added the credentials here. I'm going for master branch. See, I have only the master branch. I don't have any other master branch. Okay, now I'm going to save. I'll go direct with plan. Let's see how it goes. So as per my expectations, this particular Jenkins pipeline has to call the code which is in GitHub and create the infrastructure in Azure. What is my infrastructure? It is expected to create as per the main.tf is one virtual network, two public subnet. One public subnet and one private subnet. So one virtual network, two subnets as per the main.tf, which is a Terraform code, which I'm calling through Jenkins pipeline. I want the infrastructure to be created here. As of now, I don't have any virtual network here. If the virtual network is going to create the virtual network and public subnet, we're going to create with the name of Bharat. As per my code, the environment value is Bharat. So in my main.tf, whenever it is going to create a virtual network and two subnets, it has to give the name of Bharat. Because that's the name I'm using in my Jenkins code. Okay, it's failing. Okay, there's something problem with Terraform 760, which is maintaining the infrastructure. Resource group. Terraform. Okay. Okay, I got it. The storage account name is not moved. This particular storage is not in Terraform. So that's why it's not able to recognize. So I have to create it again. So this storage is under this network RG, but it is expected to create under different resource group. So by default, it has came, that's the mistake. So I have to create as per the code in Terraform. Okay, 761, I'll give it here 761. Okay. Now 761 is fine. Good to have some errors. So why all these things happening is I'm maintaining a Terraform state file centralized for this particular related stuff. Infrastructure has to be created in advance without a Terraform. Okay. So that's the reason I have created a resource group and I have created a storage account as well, but that has created in the network watcher resource group. It is expected to create in Terraform, but by mistake it has created in the other one. So I'm creating a storage account again. Thus my Jenkins pipeline is not able to recognize. Submitting the deployment. So once this storage account is ready, what do we have to do? To create a container, this thing. Okay, good to go. Create a container. I'm creating a container. The container is in progress. Okay, container has been created. So this is a place where my container is going to maintain. My Terraform state file is going to manage under my container. Okay. So let me go ahead and re-execute as I have created a related infrastructure. I hope this time you won't get the error. Plan. Still not able to recognize the resources. Let me see. $761. Yeah, 761. Okay. I made the changes in Git. I made the changes in Azure portal, but I didn't committed this code. Okay, now the code is committed. Terraform resource group, Terraform 761 TF state. So let me go ahead and cross check which resource group. Terraform resource group. In Terraform resource group, 761 is the storage. In 761 storage, TF state is the container. TF state is container. Okay, now the changes has been committed. Let me rerun the pipeline again. So I did the changes, but I didn't commit it. Okay, again and again it is taking mode. I'm not sure why the changes are not getting reflected over here. Go to configure. So two sections are, it is showing as choice parameter mode. Okay, I'll close this one. Okay, I'll keep this as fly and see. Plan. I hope it should work this time. It's all confusion because of the infrastructure, what is created as part of centralized maintaining the state file. initially, okay, cool. It has initialized, it has validate, it has plan, and it's going for approval. Okay, I have to go for approval. Proceed. So I've gone for plan, right? So that's why it has gone for till plan stage. Now I'll go for next is apply. When I say apply, the infrastructure is going to create. When I say infrastructure, as per my main.tf, it is going to create a virtual network and two subnets with the name of Bharat. Okay, once that is done, it means our job is a damn success. So remember the roadmap. Meanwhile, the code get executes here. It's asking for approval. It's approved. Okay, Terraform apply is gonna stage is gonna apply. Terraform apply. That's fantastic. So once this is done, I can see the resources. I can see the virtual networks. Wow. With the name of Bharat, one VNet is created. I believe in this particular VNet, as per my code, the expectation is two subnets. Let's go ahead and see that. Wow, the two subnets are also created. We did a fantastic job. We have executed the code with the Jenkins pipeline. Whatever is there in my Terraform code, in my GitHub, same as it is, the infrastructure has been created. That's it. So with the help of same pipeline, what I'm going to do, I'm going to destroy. Build parameter, destroy. So whatever the resources which have been created, all those resources will be deleted. My virtual network of Bharat VNet is going to be deleted because I've executed what? Terraform destroy. So overall in this, let me give the approval here. So understand the roadmap, which makes things very easy. Okay. Create a resources of backend. Here is what little bit of mistake we have done. That's okay. You have to create an infrastructure in advance before executing your Terraform code. And you have to make sure as per your code. Next is we have created a Jenkins-Server in Azure portal, which is a Linux or Ubuntu. I've installed the Jenkins. I've installed the Terraform. I installed Azure CLI. I'll gonna give you all the links in the description. After that, what I did, I installed a plugins, a Terraform plugin, Azure Credentials plugin. What I did, I've created a Jenkins CI/CD pipeline to execute my code. That's all. That's fantastic. So it's going to destroy. Destroy is going to execute. It means when destroy is going to execute, my infrastructure is going to delete. Wow. Done. Fantastic, guys. So we have achieved this as per our architecture initially. The Jenkins pipeline, we are going to execute what is there in the Terraform code, and that we are going to create a infrastructure in Azure. In Jenkins, I'm getting a code from the GitHub, and I'm going to get the Terraform scripts from the GitHub as well. And then I'm connectivity, and then connectivity to Azure from Jenkins to Azure with the help of service principal, and GitHub, Jenkins to GitHub. Okay, that is the main thing which you need to look into the credentials part. Okay, if you go ahead, manage Jenkins. If you go ahead and look at credentials, see Azure login, Git credentials. So this will help to connect to Git. This will help to connect to Azure. That's how our fantastic job pulling code from the GitHub, which is Terraform code and execution happening in the Azure cloud. Thank you guys. Doing a very hard work for you guys. So please encourage my channel so that I can get you with a very good content. So click on like and subscribe my channel. Please support my channel and encourage my channel. Thank you very much. Thanks for a wonderful session. Hope you're gonna had a good time. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in next session.